I think that was just the biggest proof of God is in the obedience. Like when he tells you to do something, it's because he knows what's going on. I didn't. Really? And I didn't want to come back to ORU. I didn't want to work on staff at ORU, not because I was anti. It was just not in my plan.
Yeah.
And I said yes to his plan, and the last 10 years has been such a fruitful time for me, for Allie, just to be here, to see ORU go from where it was and when I joined staff in 2016 all the way to now 2025. Like, bro, ORU's not the same place. Like, it's grown so much, and God's doing so much. And
What's up, guys? My name's Dane.
I'm Matthew.
And welcome back to the One Move Podcast.
For those of you who are asking, like, what the One Move Podcast is.
What is it?
Essentially, what the One Move Podcast is, the goal behind it is just to encourage Christians to fully step into what God has for them, because we know His way is the best way.
Right.
Your one move could lead to someone's freedom. Your one move could lead to someone's salvation. Your one move could lead to someone's healing. So
it's real.
We're just trying to encourage people to do that.
Obedience
right?
is huge.
Yeah.
100%. And so as you're watching this, you may be wondering, Dane, Matthew, there's an extra person
Who's
on the
that?
couch with you today. And this is our great friend,
the one and only
Augustine Mendoza. Augustine is a freaking stud, and he's our first guest on this podcast. So
Let's go.
I'm going to give him a little intro and talk about just some of the things that he's done. Augustine is, right now, the Senior Director of Spiritual Life at Oral Roberts University. Sheesh. Big title. But no, Augustine's a stud, man. He's in charge of a lot of kind of just cultivating the student experience that we have here at ORU. He's in charge of our student association, among a bunch of other things, but he helps to plan events and discipleship moments and a whole bunch of things like that. Like we had a men's discipleship thing last year that I'm pretty sure you were in charge of putting together.
Absolutely, yep.
And it was freaking awesome. It was so good. And so he's in charge of things like that, on top of a multitude of other things. You used to be in charge of missions at ORU.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
So he's been all over the place. He's been a man who's been doing work for the kingdom for some time now. And yeah, so today we get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, awesome. Before we usually do have an icebreaker.
Okay.
Just a quick question.
Because those are fire.
They're fire.
Of course.
Games are the best.
You got to.
They're awesome. But before we do that, I just want to say, personally, on behalf of me and Dan, thank you for everything you're doing.
For real.
We're blessed by it.
100%.
Or you, generally, and I could say for the both of us, it's changed our lives. And it's because of people like you who have said yes to the call. So, genuinely, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It means a lot. Yeah. So, our icebreaker.
That's good.
Icebreaker question.
Icebreaker.
We
Break
ready?
the ice, dude.
So, Augustine.
Okay.
Here we go.
You are in a basketball match. 3v3.
Okay.
You're going against three of some of...
Who do you think are the best three Thunder players of all
Yeah.
time? This is the team you're going against.
This is who you're going
This
against.
is who I'm playing against?
You're playing against the best three Thunder players of all time.
Okay.
For me, I was thinking Harden, I was thinking Durant, and Westbrook.
Those are the three
He
best?
disagrees.
That was
He
my-
disagrees.
Oh,
I knew he
wow.
would disagree.
Okay.
I knew he would disagree.
I think that's a little bit of shade toward SGA,
Yeah.
who has accomplished a lot in the last
He
year.
just won,
He's had
he
some-
just
he's
won
had
the
some moments.
championship.
He's had a
pretty
ring.
great.
He's had a ring. He's MVP, scoring title. You know, he's had a lot. So I would just say,
Okay.
three best of all time in no specific order.
Okay.
Would be Russ, KD, and Shea.
Okay.
I think Harden deserves a lot of credit and respect, but as far as accomplishments and reliability on the offense and defensive side,
Harden's not that good at defense.
he's not at all. At all.
He's pretty terrible, actually.
SGA is really good at defense. So
Okay.
I would say those are the three best.
We'll bench him. We'll bench him.
Yeah, well,
this
he
game.
can come off the bench.
Harden's gone.
6-man.
Harden. Yeah.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you're going against this team.
Oh gosh.
You need three players from any movie, any TV show to help you play against these big dogs.
Okay.
Who are you choosing?
The
Any TV show, any movie.
okay.
So is he the coach and he's drafting?
Yeah,
people?
it's
You're
like,
the coach.
I'm not playing. I'm
You're the
drafting.
coach.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to cheat the system
Okay.
just a little bit
Go for it.
because
I think I already know what you might
technically these are two individuals I thought about are in movies, and that's going to be Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Jeez, that's
Space
fair.
Jam 1 and 2. So
That's
okay,
valid.
I
works.
do that, and then I'm mean, there's basketball movies and shows, so do those not count? Because
If you want.
okay, my
make it
third would be
happen.
Steph Curry then,
Okay,
because
dang.
Steph has his own TV show,
Does
his
he
own
actually?
series. He's on reality TV. He's in a lot of
Really?
TV stuff.
Okay. I
didn't
So
know
because of that, I would put him as my point guard,
think
and then
you
I
would.
got LeBron and Michael Jordan. So
Yeah.
I think
no
your
shade on the Thunder players, but I don't know about
This
that.
guy feels good.
Yeah.
You can't leave Steph for a second.
He's just
And then-
some of the greatest NBA players.
I mean,
If they're in TV shows,
if they're in TV shows, so that would be
real.
my
He
answer.
was-
I would feel bad beating the Thunder players though, because I would want the Thunder team to win. But
Okay.
right? Because
Yeah.
you're a devoted Thunder lover.
I'm devoted.
Yeah.
In fact, I was at the Game 7 NBA Finals game in OKC, watched them win the championship, SGA get the MVP
awesome.
trophy, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so yes, I'm a very devoted fan.
Was that
Cool.
like the coolest moment of your life?
It's probably top 5. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie. I mean, there's moments with Jesus, and there's moments at the altar with my wife as
Right.
we're getting
Those
married.
are
But I would say it's probably a top 5 moment in my life. Like I was so
great.
happy,
I
and
believe
that.
the whole city was happy, and everyone was having
Yeah.
a great time,
Right.
and yeah, it's top 5.
It's huge.
Awesome.
That's sick.
That's sick.
Can I ask you guys an icebreaker question? Because
Go.
this has been bugging me
Okay.
ever since we sat down and I noticed this. Not in a bad way, but I'm really curious about your mug. I feel like you should show it to the audience. No, yours looks very normal.
Oh,
this one,
I was like,
I want to know, do you actually drink out of that?
Okay, guys.
I don't know how you
I-
would drink. out of it.
I'm very curious.
Don't hate on the mug.
I'm not hating. I'm just curious. I'm curious.
Second of all, yeah, so I am a big Scooby-Doo person. And so I saw this at Hobby Lobby. Like growing up, that was
it
like
up,
my
show it.
childhood. It's like the mystery machine.
Yeah,
Quite literally. Like,
but it's literally a
it's
box.
shaped like
It looks really hard to
Like a
drink
box.
out of.
I have not drank out of it yet.
Do it
I
right
just
now.
bought it.
Do it.
Ever?
Drink.
Oh,
Can
you'll
you-
see.
Drink.
Will you drink it during the episode?
I will.
Okay,
I
I'm
will.
just gonna be fascinated. Just so you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
So if I'm staring at you drinking, it's
Can you
not
show us
weird.
right now,
It's just.
I mean, show. I don't.
Just do it.
I'm actually a little afraid to drink out of it. 'cause I don't
It's
know
okay.
if it'll spill or
This is a
something.
safe space. No judgment.
There's no
Wow.
condemnation. In
There's no
Christ.
way it works. There's no way. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
It felt like drinking coffee out of a coffee mug. That's how it felt.
Out of a square mug.
Out of a square mug. Yep.
Okay, sorry, I totally interrupted
Yeah,
the flow,
that's
but
okay.
I was so curious.
No, that's. I think.
I'm
That's,
glad I could show off the mug because I'm actually
he was very
so
proud of
good.
it.
I was
Before
very
you got
proud
in
of
here,
this
he
thing.
was like, "Look at this sick mug."
It's dope. I love the design. I just was like, can you actually drink
Does
out
it
of
lack functionality?
Yours is a very normal looking mug, so
It's in Cuba, man.
I
Oh,
love
sick.
that.
They gave it to us as we were leaving
Oh, that's so cool.
missions. this
For
year.
missions?
It was
Oh.
sick. Yeah. Yep. That's the whole gang. The
whole squad.
Little kids. our little kids.
That's
group
great.
It was sick.
I actually want to make a mug like that
Top
now
tier
for,
gift.
I know.
for
I was
SA
actually-
or for like an
I was
event.
stoked, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
100%. Give away some mugs. But the picture. Have you seen the picture of our whole wing last year in matching
Yeah,
sweaters?
yeah, yeah.
That's been on the.
Come on.
That's the one.
You got to.
That's the one. It's
Got
gotta
to.
be on there.
Yeah.
All right. So now that the ice has been
Broken.
Very
shattered,
Very
Destroyed.
broken. Very broken.
you can see the water. Let's dive in. So really, I think the heart of this episode is kind of you're a guy who embodies a lot of what we want this podcast to be, spurring people on towards. And this idea that like just living a life that's fully surrendered to Christ and willing to give the Lord your yes
Yeah.
and your one move and just walking in complete obedience to the Lord. And that's something that from the outside we look at you and say like,
Yeah.
Augustine does that. Augustine walks in obedience.
Great
to the Lord.
example.
And so we want to we really want to give an opportunity to hear that story and hear how you've come to walking in complete obedience to the Lord like
Yeah.
that, and kind of
Awesome.
give an example of like this is what this life can look like. you
For
know?
sure.
So
Yeah.
with all that being said,
Yeah.
you start wherever you
right.
want to
Yeah.
start.
Well, I think probably just some background context. I would just say the theme that you'll hear through my entire life that I've kind of just said like, all right, this is the theme of my life is radical obedience leads to radical transformation. Like
on.
that's what I've just seen in my life. Like, so as I tell stories, it's very little about me and a lot of like, this is the fruit of obedience when you trust Jesus
Right.
Yeah.
with your life, with everything. And I've had a lot of one moves in my life where I've just said like, all right, it doesn't make sense. I'm just going to say yes. I'm going to do it. So you'll just hear that theme a lot. But I grew up in a Christian home, saved when I was like 5. I remember just praying, asking Jesus into my heart.
Yeah.
And then grew up in a great church, great family, great context. And just loved going to church, loved being in church, loved serving, loved being in worship services. I grew up with worship, so it's just like all around me. I was not musical, am not musical really at all, but I loved worshiping. And so I love that environment. So I got into high school. I was actually homeschooled going before high school. Okay. Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah, a lot of people say that too, which I'm like, I think that's a good thing, a compliment, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be. So were you public school in high school?
I went to a private school. I wanted to play basketball, so I convinced my parents that this would be a good thing to go to a private school and play sports.
Right.
And I just kind of wanted a high school experience.
Which
and
is
so, yeah, it was like, so I went in as a freshman to a school with, like, I didn't know anybody. And I went in, I tried out for the basketball team freshman year and just got to know friends. And I don't know, I like started my life there, where homeschool is a great foundation. And I'm actually thankful for being at home with my family. We're all really close. Had good friends and good relationships, served in the church a lot. So my roots were really good.
Right.
So when I went to high school, I felt like I was just a very healthy person going into high school. But high school definitely hits you in the face, like regardless of when you start. It's
100%.
just, there's so much that goes on. And I have so much compassion for high schoolers because, especially now, I think just there's so much that just goes in your face and fills your mind like every single day, that you have to like filter so much. So when you're trying to follow Jesus as a high schooler, it's hard. It's really hard.
For sure.
And so for me, it got harder than it had ever been. And I just remember wanting to be cool, wanting to be popular, like wanting to fit in with all the guys on the sports teams. And so, being around locker room talk, or being around guys that had a different girlfriend like all the time, and telling stories of their exploits, and it was just like that became a normal for me of hearing that. And so over time, you just kind of start compromising in your mind and your heart. And so by the time I was 16, I just remember, I don't really remember when it started, but I just remember getting hooked on pornography. A lot of my friends in high school watched pornography, and it was somewhat cool, I guess, to know it, to see it, to talk about it. And so, it hooked my mind, and I just got stuck in this weird compromise season of, I was in church, I was serving, I would do stuff in the youth ministry, I would lead devotionals, I would help lead school prayer meetings. But in the background, I was like in locker rooms and being a part of conversations that weren't healthy, and watching porn. And it was like this weird contrast where I felt my soul literally just like getting stretched.
100%.
And I felt like I was losing my soul, but I, on the outside, was the perfect Christian kid. Like everyone was like, oh, he's amazing, he's great. So I'm an Enneagram 3. I don't know if you guys get into that, but like the performer side of me was strong. Like I was a great performer. But then I was like, I'm performing as a Christian. I'm not actually a Christian. And that I exposed that, like, and I was like, dang. But I felt trapped in shame. I felt trapped, like I can't let anyone know the actual me, because if the actual me came out, then this whole performance I've been giving is a lie. And no one will accept me, no one will love me. Everyone will call Christianity like fake, and so I felt trapped, like in the shame and guilt. Oh, 100%.
Religion of Christianity.
100%. It was like no one will love Jesus if I am truthful. So it's such a prideful way to think, but that was where my high school brain was at.
That's totally me too, man. Like I remember joining like our high school football. I mean, I was public school all the way through. But I joined our high school football team in my freshman year of high school, and it was like, I remember just like desperately wanting to fit in with people, because it was like a totally new crowd that I'd never been around. Our high school football team was, and so I remember like trying to just become buddies with guys and stuff like that, and like it was like this slow burn. But by the time I was like going into my sophomore year, man, like I was like a totally different person when I stepped on the football field. Like I was stepping on the field like just cussing up a storm, like. But then right before we run out of the locker room, I'm like leading prayer for our team, and then like leading prayer in the end zone, and like, and then second the ball snapped, I'm like just freaking not the same person at all, and it's like, so it's so real, like that double-sidedness. And like I would be one way at school, and then you'd go to youth group, and I'd be like up on the platform preaching, and
100%,
just like, what is this, so like
it's always a slow compromise. It's like and that's why I feel like you got to have compassion for people, because you never know how that compromise started. And a lot of times they don't even realize, like, oh my gosh, I've slid so far from where I wanted to be, but I'm here, and now I don't know how to get back.
Yeah, it's not like one day you just wake up and you're like, yeah, today I'm just gonna.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna start living two-sided.
100%.
Right? It's like nobody.
It's 1,000 small decisions.
Right.
It's 1,000 small cuts before you're like, I can't believe my whole arm is bleeding right now. Like, how did that happen? It was just tons of paper cuts, like over time, and that's how the enemy loves to work. I tell people, like, the enemy. The thing we don't give the enemy credit for is he is so patient. Like, he takes his time. Like, he's willing to wait.
Sure.
And he's willing to, like, wait you out. He's like, I'll just cut you a little bit every single day.
Yeah.
And I don't need to do it all in one day. It'd be great, but he also is like, he'll fall apart.
He's
over
willing to
time.
play the long game.
100%. 100%. So for me, it was when I was 16. I, had been hooked on this back and forth and trapped in this shame for years. And I just remember going to a summer youth conference called Desperation Conference, and my church helped put it on. So all my youth pastors and leaders and stuff, they're the ones on the stage leading it, and I get to help, serve in the background. And it's going on, and there was a speaker. His name is Joel Stockstill, who's actually the brother of Jonathan Stockstill, who was here for Fall Revival. And he came on and he spoke. And I remember vividly where I was sitting, because I was in the very back row near all of my buddies, a lot of us in the same compromise, and all of us fully aware of it, by the way. And we were just very okay with it. But we're all in the back just chilling, not really paying attention. And I just remember Joel starting to speak, and like I had never heard someone just so intentionally cut through the fluff of everything, and just being like, man, there's a ton of y'all in this room that are just trapped in lust right now, and you're so wrapped up in shame you can't actually be true with yourself. You're not your true self. You give off a facade, and like it was like he was just standing in front of me with a mirror and just like, do you see yourself? And I'm like, ah! And I just remember it was one of the first times I think in my life I felt the conviction of the Holy Spirit, and is like, this is you. Like, no, that isn't for somebody, or that isn't just like in general. That's a thing. Is like, I am talking to you. You better pay attention.
Right.
So I just remember I tuned out my friends, and I was like glued to the speaker. I was every word. I remember the whole sermon, and I just remember at the end he's like, and I'd never heard this before. I think it's a little more common now, but he said, with every head up and every eye open, who in here is struggling with lust? Stand up.
Right.
And I was like,
Talk about
one of those words, like, your heart is beating. I'm like, I literally might have a heart attack. Like, it's just so intense.
Right.
And I was like, all my friends are right here.
Yeah.
And I just remember Peter, the story of Peter denying Jesus 3 times. And I'm sitting there in that chair, and Jesus is like, don't deny what I'm doing in you right now. Don't deny it. Like, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to everybody else. And my friends were not paying attention. But he said, stand up right now. And so I, with fear and trembling, just stood up.
Wow.
And I felt them, all my friends, just gazing at me, like just staring at me, like, what are you doing? Unspoken, just like I felt it.
Right.
And I felt this fear of man just like starting to fall off me. And it was like, oh, I'm making a stand, literally. And they're all judging, thinking their own thing. What is he doing? Why is he admitting this? But they're all just looking at me. And I felt like that was the moment the Lord started to lift the fear of man and what other people thought of me, and the shame just like started to like fall off. And then Joel was like, all right, great, you stood up. Now you got to come to the altar. And I was like, dang, man, like, you're so intense. And I was like, all right. So then we're sitting as close as we are right now, and I'm trying to like, all right, sorry guys, I just got to get over here. And then they're all looking at me like confused, like, why are you doing this? And I just remember going down to that altar, and as soon as I got to the altar, my wife will tell you, I am not a crier. I don't cry. It's not because I'm too macho. It's just I don't cry.
Right.
And I bawled. I mean, I got on my knees at that altar, and everything, I think it was all the shame and the guilt and the confusion and like my mind feeling trapped, just like all came out. And it just was like tears and snot, like that kind of thing. Like it was like on the ground in front of me. Like I felt bad for the cleaning crew, because it was like whoever was right here was like nasty, like it was tough. Just bawling my eyes out. And it was the tangible presence of the Holy Spirit, probably the first time I can have a clear memory of it, of like, I love you, and I'm full of mercy, I'm full of grace, like that's okay, like where you're at is okay, I'm meeting you right here. And the idea of like 1 John 1:9 became real to me, of like, if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you of your sin and heal you of all unrighteousness. And I'm like, this is what this is like. So at that altar was where the Lord met me and changed my life forever. Of I can't be a fake Christian. I can't do it. I can either not follow Jesus or I can truly follow Jesus. There's no
One way or the
apathetic.
other.
Yeah, not 1 foot here and 1 foot there.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. Like it's literally like he drew the line in the sand. It's like, Eric, from this day on,
pick
you can choose not to follow me. That's
pick your
okay.
poison.
Go over there. No more lukewarm, no more fake. And that was like a big
Yeah.
one move in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good.
No, that's great. And you feel like that was like when like that night happened, you feel like there was just like a foundational shift in kind of how like you operate as a
Absolutely.
person. Obviously, it's still a process, right? Like, I think
Absolutely.
it's still a walk to get to that point. But I think like the heart shift is huge,
Yeah.
you know. And it was like I had something very similar where it's like I'd very much received the Lord as like my Savior.
Yep.
In my life, you know, and it was like I had a very similar church camp experience where I was like just complete surrender, and it's like
Yep.
you kind of truly surrender into lordship,
Yep.
right? And it's like, yeah, you have like, yeah, Jesus saved me and now I'm
Yep.
going to heaven, but like lordship and like I'm going to live my life for you in this
Yes.
way now. And it's like that can just be a super foundational shift in like the way you operate as a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Saved to sanctified.
Right.
And that sanctification process is a process. It's
Yeah.
not a
Right.
one-day transformation.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is a commitment to lordship where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't get to do what I want anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it's like after that day, I could still choose to watch porn. I could still choose to talk a certain way in the locker room. I could still choose to cuss on the basketball
Yeah.
court, but I'm going to feel a certain way about it now.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Before I
conviction.
felt very
Yeah.
conviction.
indifferent.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and I think it's when you say, Holy Spirit, I want that. He's like, great,
Yeah.
I'll give you conviction.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember a pastor told me soon after that was feeling convicted is proof that the Lord's working on you.
Yeah.
And
That's
I just
good.
remember thinking conviction was bad, like, oh, God's mad at me. He says, no, he's pointing it out because he wants to help you in that. He wants to heal you in that.
Right.
And so actually when I was at the altar, Joel Stocks, I hated and loved him at that same time. As not only did he make me stand and not only did he make me come up there, but then when we were up there, we were doing ministry time. And again, I'm in my head, I'm this like, well, I'm an example and like everyone's looking at me and you know, you think of yourself more highly than you probably should. But I was like 16, so it was in my head. And I remember Joel saying, you know, some of you're here and you know, your youth pastor's here and all that. And what you actually need to do to really cement this moment is not just have an emotional moment at the altar.
Yeah.
You need to go tell your youth pastor right now.
Ah,
And I was like, come on, man. Like, stop. Like, you're like, I'm
just
being
gotta
obedient.
add
Like,
on.
Right.
I tried to do the one move, but you're making it like 3 moves. All right. So stop.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, okay, I need to do this. Like, I don't want to just have a moment. I really want to do this.
Right.
So again, my pastors are hosting this event.
Sheesh.
So I'm like, okay, so so I like kind of put my head up and I'm looking, and I look over at the section, and there's like 8,000 people in this room. So I'm trying to find it. Like, where's my youth pastor?
Yeah.
And I look, and on the stage is where my youth pastor
No
is.
way.
And I was like,
Yeah.
dang. So I was like, well,
up
I'll
there.
probably have to wait till he comes down because I don't want to go up on the stage like security gonna get me. And so I was like, if he comes down, then I'll go to him. But if
Yeah.
he stays up there, I'm not gonna do anything. And as soon as I had that thought, my youth pastor unexplicitly just starts
Sheesh.
walking right to where I am at the
Yo.
altar and stands on the stairs. So not on the floor, but not on the stage, just right there. And I was like, dang it. And so I walk up there
Yeah.
bawling, and I pour out my heart. Like, I've been struggling with porn for years. This is what I'm doing. I'm not living the true life. I just, everything. And
Yeah,
he's
right.
like, thanks for telling me, man. We should get lunch tomorrow. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it. And I remember thinking, that's it? Like, that's all you're going to say? And it was just the Holy Spirit telling me in that moment, it's like, shame is telling you this is the biggest deal in the world. I'm telling you my grace is sufficient for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what my
So
youth
good.
pastor was showing me. He's like, hey, you got grace, bro. I'm going to help you out. And from that day on, it was accountability and software and that process like you talk
Yeah.
about of like, okay, let's learn how to live free. And the analogy I give guys is, especially with porn and lust, is like there's a moment where you ask for his help and he becomes your savior. And what your savior does is he busts open your jail cell, breaks down the door, breaks off the shackles, carries you out of the jail cell, puts you into the real world. And he says, you're not in jail anymore. You're not a slave to sin. You're free.
Yeah.
But now what I have to do is unlearn all of
Yeah.
the prison tendencies that I've had in my brain and
Yeah.
in my heart and my life is, well, this is what I do. I'm a slave. This is what I do. Like, I'm a slave to lust. I'm a slave to porn. This is what I do. And I don't have to live that way anymore. But I have to learn a new way. I can't just like forget the old way. I have to learn a new way.
Yeah.
And that's that process of sanctification and accountability and discipleship and software and Bible study. Like, this is where it's like, okay, God's going to form my brain anew.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where that process really began, and carried me really to the end of my high school career and going into college. Was that discipleship process of just fully committed, all out for Jesus, where I became more radical, not because I was trying to prove something, but in response to his grace was, oh, I'm like going hard in these prayer meetings. Oh, I'm being that Christian on the basketball court. Like, I am praying for my teammates. Like, I'm stepping up my Christian game because I've had a revelation of his grace and mercy. It's not just like, oh, it's cool to follow Jesus. Like, Jesus changed my life.
Yeah.
And there's a big shift that happens with that.
It's good. I love that you bring up accountability, because I think, just for me and I think a lot of other Christians, I think growing up, I thought I was going to be free from like pornography after like a prayer or an altar call moment. And the reality is with something like that, there are so many physical things we have to be doing. Like, there's a spiritual and there's a practical. And kind of like what you went on with the jail analogy. Yes, the Lord brings us out of it, but we have a choice to go back in.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
And again, accountability is so huge, you know? And I guess I have this question because obviously you stepped into ministry and going forth, I'm assuming after that night, lust didn't just go away.
No, unfortunately.
yeah.
Unfortunately not.
That'd be great if it did.
It'd be awesome.
And so I guess what did that process look like after that? Because now you're starting to step into ministry, you're starting to feel called. You're still struggling with this, and there's so much guilt that comes with that, especially once you know you've been assigned to ministry.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I guess my question is, what did that look like? And how do you navigate that? Because there's so many Christians who the Lord has definitely called, and they're chosen, but they just can't seem to overcome this thing, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. My brain goes 1,000 ways how I want to answer this.
Yeah.
One I would say is, I used to pray a prayer that I'm so glad God didn't answer. And I used to pray, God, would you take away this desire? And looking back on it, having had some time to reflect, I'm so glad he didn't take away my sex drive. I'm so glad he didn't take
Now that
away
you're married.
this natural drive. Exactly. And it's like, now that I'm married, everyone's like, oh, of course you're married now, it's whatever.
Right.
But like, what I learned was like, hey, this is a good desire. It's a good thing. Like, our sexuality is a gift. It's not made by the enemy. It's made by God. So instead, what I started praying was, God, would you teach me how to steward this?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a very different mindset shift, because then instead of stiff-arming anything that is sexual, you actually take it in and say, God, this is what it is. Like, let's just be real about it. So help me steward that. And I talk to so many single guys, and it's like, well, when I get married, everything will be better. I'm like, that's actually not true, because the amount of marriages I've seen that they have a struggle with porn and lust and they carry it into their marriage.
Right.
They think it's going to be solved by a sex life with their wife, but actually it may satisfy for a moment, but it turns around and, man, affairs pop up because porn is never dealt with. Or there are physical and mental issues that come with
Porn destroys families.
Absolutely. And it destroys your brain. I mean, we don't have time to go into the psychological and biological things that it does.
That's a whole thing.
But like, literally just go look and ask ChatGPT, what does porn do to your brain if you watch it for 2 years straight? Just look it up. And it's revolting. It's terrifying.
It's horrible.
And there's a reason why when God says like, hey, this is not good, it's not just like, well, he doesn't want you to do that. It's like he understands how your brain was made, because he made it.
Right.
He understands how your sexual self works. Like, he made it. And he says it's not just so like you're a good person. It's not just so that like you don't do these bad things. It's because he made you, and he's like, I know how you're going to best live. If you want this abiding and full life, follow my way, because I'm the creator who made you. So when you have that revelation of stewardship, I'm going back to your question, is that in the context of stewardship, the process was, Lord, teach me to steward my sexuality instead of take it all away.
Right. Make my life easy.
And and then because it makes it also like, oh, anything sexual is bad. Anything sexual is like, it's like, actually, no, it's good in its proper place.
Yeah.
And so if you can learn that as a single man or as a single woman, it actually breeds this like thankfulness for sexuality instead of repulsion or shame or bad guilt. Because a lot of that does carry into marriages. I do premarital with couples a lot. My wife and I do. And sometimes what we have to break down is this unhealthy, like, stiff arm of sex. Because I think some people think, well, just flip a switch. Like, it's okay now, you're married, so just flip the switch.
Right.
And actually, there's a lot of mental things that people have put up of like anything sexual is bad. You can't just flip that when you get married.
Right.
Yeah.
And it causes actually a lot of problems in your first couple years of marriage because it's all that. So, all that said, I think dealing with it mentally, not just physically, a holistic approach to any struggle with lust that you may have is actually important to be fully healthy. And that's what I would want for every young adult, is that you're just fully healthy with Jesus.
Right.
And so that process looks like a lot of obedience. It looks like accountability. It looks like opening up to people. I've opened up to so many people that I'm close to about it. And when I came to ORU as a student, my freshman year, I literally just started telling everybody. I was like, oh yeah, lust was like my biggest struggle. Like pornography, oh yeah, that's the thing that the enemy wants to use to take me out.
Right.
Because the more I said it, the less power it had over me.
Yeah.
Because then people were like, oh wow, like you're really open about it. I'm like, yeah, because I don't want anything in the dark. I don't want anything in there isolated.
Sheesh.
I want people to come into my room. I would always leave my door unlocked. I would leave it open. Like, I'm not closing my door unless I'm literally sleeping. Like, if I'm awake, like, the door's open because I'm not trying to mess around. I'm not trying to fall away.
Yeah.
I would tell every leader, like, when I became a chaplain, I remember saying, like, yeah, my struggle was lust. And you know what? I'm still working it out. I'm still trying to get better. But, like, this is where I'm at. And I've just learned that staying that open to your question is the key to accountability, is the key to health and growth and sanctification. The minute you say, I'm good, that's a dangerous place to be. So staying open.
You're literally just being aggressive.
Yeah.
The enemy's aggressive with us. We have to be aggressive back. Otherwise,
100%.
he's going to walk all over us every
100%.
time, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Requires action. 100%.
Yeah.
So then, like, coming to ORU, like, shifting to that season, when I became a freshman at ORU, I wanted to do ministry. But I think the lie of the enemy was, you're canceled. Like, I'm canceling
Your
you
ship has sailed.
because of what you did. Like, you can't do this. And I just remember being in prayer sets. I remember going on missions. I remember becoming a chaplain my sophomore year. And the more opportunities I had, the more I realized, like, that's such a stupid lie. Like, God is not done with me. And just read the Bible. I mean, how many of these men of God were absolutely terrible when it came to lifestyle? Like,
Terrible people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially sexual sins. Like, dudes are making all these sexual sins.
Sure.
And we shouldn't compare, like, well, I'm not as bad as this person or that person.
Those did-
But I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, bro, like, David literally committed adultery and then killed the guy and then lied about it and all these things. And I'm like, okay, but he's still considered a man after God's own heart. Why? He had repentance and he was obedient. He'd be quick to repent and quick to obey.
Right.
And so I just said, all right, like, when I screw up,
Righteous man
I'm going to be
like
quick
that.
to repent,
Yeah.
quick to obey, and that changed my view of ministry as well.
Sheesh.
Where ministry is not for the perfect, and ministry is not for those that have it all together.
Yeah.
Ministry is for those that are obedient, for those that are quick to repent, for those that are open. And so I think anyone that struggles with, oh, I can't, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough,
Yeah.
God could never use me, those are lies of the enemy.
Yeah.
And if you need examples, just open your Bible, read
Yeah.
from cover to cover, and you'll see every man and woman of God.
And
They
the
make
Lord's been faithful.
and it's never about the individual. It's always about His
God.
faithfulness,
Yeah. It's a
His
testimony.
mercy, His
That's
grace.
good.
100%.
No one can do ministry apart from the mercy and grace of God.
Right.
And so that's what encouraged me, like, in that process.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
That was me for a long time. Like, just thinking, like, because I was struggling with pornography, like, I wasn't equipped to do ministry. Actually, there was a season in my life where, like, I felt like the Lord called me to ministry when I was in 9th grade. So I pursued that, and I was obedient in that. But in the same way, I'm watching porn multiple times a day, really in that. And I felt like such a fake, you know? Like, there was a season in my life where I was actively praying to God every day that He'd kill me. And it
Wow.
and it was dark. It was a hard season.
Wow.
But the Lord completely like shattered that and redeemed that. There was actually I've debated, like, I don't share this story with a lot of people, but I guess we're filming it. But during that season, I got in a car crash. Was pulling out of, like, a wrestling meet. For those who don't know, I did wrestling in high school. Pulling out, took, like, a left turn. Should not have gotten hit. It was actually the stupidest car crash ever. Like, it should not have happened.
Yeah.
This guy absolutely just bought a car like a month or two ago. Absolutely totals my car.
Wow.
One wheel goes into where the other one was supposed to be. Just in that season, like, I had so many people from, like, just the people around who saw it to, like, the person who towed my truck. Every single one of them was like, you must have had an angel or, like, something with you. Because how you got hit and what happened? You should be dead. You shouldn't be here.
Wow.
And that was like the first moment in my life where I really felt like just the Lord in that moment, and like, don't you ever pray that, because I have such a plan for you and I have such a purpose for your life.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I just say that to say, like, I get that feeling of like, you're called to ministry and you feel unequipped, but the truth is all of us are unequipped.
100%.
He meets us where we're at, but he loves us enough to not keep us where we are.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's real.
Wow.
but
It's good.
it's cool.
Yeah. So as you walked through ORU and stepped into like chaplaincy and missions and stuff like that, like what did that whole process of taking on leadership look like? So I think Matthew and I are both taking on a whole bunch of leadership positions this year for the first time, and and so kind of like practically, how did that journey look, and like what was some of the, I guess, like what were some of the struggles around taking on leadership positions like
Best
you did?
parts and hardest parts.
And then also, like what are some freaking highlights, dude?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Take a sip, Matthew.
I really want to see the
Dude.
sip.
This is so bad every time.
It's good. Shop at Hobby Lobby, everybody. It's
That's
great.
the move.
Shout out.
100%. But yeah, so like
Sponsor us.
what were some of the hard parts, and then also like just what were some of the victories that came out of it?
That's a great question. To me, I wanted to be a man of action. No shade on any guys, but like I lived in EMR all 4 years. And so I was surrounded literally by guys who were chilling. And there are some guys that were very active and actionable, and like they lived a life worthy of the calling they received. They said, hey, I've been called to do this thing, and I'm going to make sure I'm prepped for it.
Right.
And so for me at ORU, I had this idea of, I'm not just going to go through ORU. I'm going to let ORU go through me, and I'm going to get my money's worth. I'm going to get out there. Like if I'm paying all this tuition, if I'm doing all this stuff, like I could pay way less money to get a degree somewhere else, but I'm not here just for a degree.
That's so
I'm here
good.
for community. I'm here for leadership development. I'm here to be challenged and pushed. So if that's true, it's on me to get involved, to get engaged. So prayer movement, missions, chaplain. I was a student ambassador for a while.
Dang,
Order of the Golden Eagle.
Holy credentials.
I had that. That was God, man. And just the more I got involved, the more I was like, there's not a lot of men who are doing this.
A lot of girls.
There's a lot of girls.
100%.
And shout out to the women of God, the wogs out there, man. Like they're
wogs.
great, but
Be wogs.
we needed more mogs. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna set the tone. Like I'm gonna do that. So I remember being a chaplain. I had a freshman floor, and I was telling my guys, like, those of you that are gonna take this serious, I dare you to get involved in one thing. Just one. Just do one thing and get involved.
That's so
And my guys rose to the challenge, and they did an amazing job. And it was just me shepherding as like an older brother on the floor of just like, how's prayer movement going? How's missions going? Oh, you're on worship. That's awesome. What are you doing there? Hey, you're involved in your church. I didn't care if I was on campus, off campus. I was like, you just need to be involved. Do something. Don't sit in your room and play video games all day after class. Like, I was all for it. I was playing FIFA and Madden and 2K, and I was having a great time, but I was also involved. And so I think it taught me that what I got most out of it was those that are involved and engaged are those that grow the most. And I feel like, were you in college? Like, this is your time to grow. Like, don't waste your time playing video games. Like, that's just the go-to. I don't know what else. But it's valid. And
That's needed.
I think it's fun, and there's a room for fun. There's a room for rest, and watching football on Saturdays, college football is like,
Fun.
that's great.
Yeah.
You should.
Play
But if
hard.
that's all you do, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
And so I would just challenge any guy listening to this, like, there's a need for you in the world. Like, there's a need for us as men of God to start a podcast.
good.
Like, I love that you guys started this and just said, like, we want to do this. And the fruit of that isn't anything about y'all. It's everything to do with saying, we as a generation are not content with just sitting and enjoying our lives.
Right.
We want to do something with it.
Yeah.
So that would be
So
that.
good.
Struggles, though, I think we could all identify with this, like time management. Struggles.
Dude,
Yes.
Struggles. I don't know if y'all struggle with some time management sometime.
Hardest part,
100%.
I think.
And I think one of the best things you can learn in college, because it doesn't get easier.
Right.
You want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to do your career, like you're into these things, you're just going to need good time management skills. So I think time management was something I struggled with early, and then by the time I graduated, I was like, I think I learned my rhythm and how I work and how I make a to-do list and how I prioritize. So I would say give yourselves grace in that, because there's room to grow in that. But you should be stretched. If you're not worried about your, like, again, if you're like, my time is easy, then you're probably not really
probably don't have enough
active.
on
You
your
know what I mean?
plate.
Yeah. It's like, if you're like, I don't know how I can fit all this in. Like, I don't know how I'm doing this. God's giving me a grace for it. perfect. That's exactly where you should be. And the Lord's going to give you grace for that. So I think time management was one of those.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think I struggled with, and so junior year, I realized I was getting burnt out by different positions. And I was like, I need to zone in on a few because I was doing a lot.
Right.
I think I was in 5 or 6 leadership positions at one time. And I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, this is too much. I can't.
real.
With your major and the classes getting more
Sheesh,
intense. And
sure.
I was
Yeah.
dating my wife Allie at the time, and so I was trying to balance that. And there was just so many things. And I just remember asking myself in my prayer room one day, I was just like, why am I doing all this? And I realized that I was striving, and I was performing, and the titles meant a lot to me. And especially in the ORU context, as we all know, I think you get a title and you start liking your title a lot. Maybe you're not holding it over people, but you like being identified.
Sure.
It can become an idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved knowing Augustine Mendoza, chaplain, or head chaplain, or missions coordinator, or to the Golden Eagle, and he gets to wear the blazer. You know, like,
The Golden Eagle.
yeah, I mean, it was dope. It was cool. Like, I loved it.
Right.
But I think I was striving because I loved it too much. And it was like, this is what is valuable about me.
Yeah.
And so by the time I was junior, senior, I had to learn that my value was in my being, not in my doing. And so sitting with the Lord in the prayer room was the best thing I could do in a day.
Right.
Not
Sheesh.
not a cool Devo or a cool event or who I hosted as an Order of the Golden Eagle person. Like, none of that mattered.
Right.
It was my being with him. And so that was a struggle,
Yeah.
but also something the Lord really used to help me maybe authenticate myself before I graduated, so I didn't just rush to more positions, but being like, what's the most valuable thing about Augustine?
Yeah.
None of these titles.
Right.
None of the things I've done, just who he's made me to be.
Just a servant.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so good. I
That's
think
good.
like that's been a massive thing for me this semester. Like even like to time management. First off, like Matthew and I
It's
had a
been-
whole conversation a couple weeks ago where he was like, because I'd been like I've from the beginning of the semester been like trying to get a schedule together.
Yeah.
And, like Matthew and I,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can get lunch from 12 to 1 on Tuesday. And,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's like, dude, like I wish we could just hang out and not
Yeah.
have to schedule it. And it's
Saga date.
yeah, and then like four days later, he texted me and was like, "Yo, bro, I'm having to keep a schedule now." He's like, "I totally feel you. You're totally right." And I was like, "That's real." But it's that, man, time management for sure. And I think also like, yeah, like I'm feeling the leadership side of it a ton too, where it's like,
Yeah.
like it's so. Truthfully, it's nice to be wanted. I
Absolutely.
think. And so it's like there's a degree of it where it's like missions is going on right now, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like before I'm even out of the chapel, I have like 10 or 15 people who are like, you're doing missions
Yeah.
leader, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's expected of you, and I'm in this place where it's like there's my flesh, dude, is like, oh, like you don't want to let those people down.
Yeah.
Like those people are relying on you. Like
Yeah.
they want you
Yeah.
to do missions leader, and
Yeah.
I don't want to let them down. Like I want to be like, yeah, I'll do missions leadership, you know? And it's
Yeah.
like, and that's in so many areas. And like I think what I'm realizing is you take on too much and it's super easy for it to come at the expense of your relationship with the Lord, right? Because it's in my flesh, that's the thing that I sometimes tend to cut first, right? It's like, yeah, like I can take my time with the Lord and slim it down by half so that I can make time for this extra thing,
Yep,
you know?
100%.
And it's like, what?
Yep.
You know, it's that. And then also like when I'm looking at like the ministries that I have and the opportunities that I have, it's like I don't want to be administrative in the way I lead. You know, like I want to be people first.
Yeah.
And I think the way that I'm called to lead in this season is
Yeah.
very, very people oriented.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
and depending on how much you have on your plate and how well you're stewarding it, it's like it can I'm leery of not letting myself become administrative in those things,
Yeah.
right? I don't want people to like to feel how like busy I am in the sense of like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like he's checking the boxes of missions leader, and on the podcast like he's prepping and he's filming it, but like, you know, and with Run with Christ, it's like, yeah, like he's there, but he's just showing up for the run and then leaving. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like RA, it's like, yeah, he
Yeah.
comes and he stops in my room once a week to make sure
Yeah.
I'm okay, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that to be the
Yeah.
heart at all. It's like, I want, like you were saying earlier, like open door, man, like come
Yeah.
on in here. Like I care about you. I want to talk to you, you know? And I think that's like the biggest call of
Yeah.
leadership, at least in me right now, is like, I want to build community with people.
That's good.
And like, and grow together
Yeah.
in leadership and relationship with the Lord and
Yeah.
relationship together and all of
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things, you know? And it's like, it takes intentionality, and it takes not wanting to just say yes to everything. Because not every opportunity is one that the Lord has for us. Right?
100%.
Even if it's a great opportunity and
You
it's
can be
one
great at it, yeah. and
you
not
can be great
called
at
to
it, right?
So
And it can be for the kingdom too.
100%.
I think that's another thing I'm learning is like
It usually
not-
is.
right, right, and not every opportunity that's for the growth of the kingdom is
Yeah.
meant for you.
Yep.
You
you
know,
won't be able to steward it well.
Right.
You won't be able to steward the other things well if you take on so much that you just
right,
Mm-hmm.
which is hard, right? Because it's like every opportunity that comes to me to further the kingdom, I want to be
I
like,
want-
I
yeah.
want to be like, yes,
100%.
Mrs. Leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
all these things.
I want to do all of it.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. And it's like just coming to the realization that like,
Yeah.
no, dude, like I
Yeah.
actually should go sit at the Lord's feet.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of important.
One of the best things I did was my senior year, I joined a prayer set. I'd slimmed down a lot of my leadership roles, and for prayer movement, I was like, I just want to go pray. Like, I don't really care about marketing
Yeah.
the set or who's
on a
there.
team, you're
And we were a very low attended set that year. It was maybe most 5 people would come in.
Yeah.
And I loved it, actually.
Yeah.
I loved how quiet it was. I loved that I didn't feel like I was leading a room. I was in a room with people worshiping and seeking Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's less of a
I did with one of my best friends, and we just held each other accountable to be like, we're not here to perform. We're not here to like
Yeah.
lead a room. We're here just to engage with the Lord. And so for 2 hours every week, it was just like, that was just the best thing I
Yeah.
think I did my senior year.
Yeah.
So just don't neglect
Yeah.
that for good things, for kingdom things,
Yeah.
for opportunities. Because opportunities will always be there. There's always going to be things to do for the Lord. But spending time with Him, making sure you're a healthy man,
No, you have to stay at the feet
is
of
what
Jesus.
makes you a good leader.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right,
Yeah.
because you're just completely dysfunctional in leadership if you're
Yeah.
lacking
100%.
the Lord at the center of
yeah.
it.
You'll
Yeah.
push him out of it.
It's real.
Yeah. Only way you steward leadership well, and also just like have a good life.
Yeah,
generally,
yeah.
Is like if you stay at the feet of Jesus.
Yeah.
The moment that comes, like, that becomes secondary, everything falls apart. And so, it's important. I've even learned that. Like, I've found like just as I've gotten busier this year, like my prayer time has gotten a little less consistent. I'm finding myself doing it within like. It's been quicker. It's been, and I hate that, you
Yeah.
know. And the Lord is just reminding me like, this needs to be the first thing you do, even if it means like sacrificing other things, like
Definitely.
your free time, or even like not taking up another ministry opportunity because you need that quiet time with
Yeah.
the Lord.
Yeah.
It's important. Otherwise, how are we ever going to do it well?
Right.
And even for us, like there's guys who are depending on us. How can we give them something from the Lord if we aren't taking the time to hear from the Lord ourselves?
Right. Yeah.
You know. And it didn't get to that point for me. It was just more I'm really busy, but I'm like it could get there.
Yeah.
If we don't
And you don't
change
want
it
it to.
now, and we
Yeah.
aren't like carving out even just like with the schedule, like carving out time in a day
Yep.
for the Lord now. What's tomorrow going to look like?
Right.
You
A question I've asked, I think that helps maybe people filter, like, should I do something, should I not do
Yeah.
something, is can you give your best to it? And if you do give
good.
your best to it, will something else not receive your best that you've already committed to?
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
there's something to be said about honoring your commitment, where if I'm an RA and I'm giving it my best, but then I say yes to something else, so now RA gets 40%, but I'm giving 100% over here.
Yeah. Right.
Then you're not honoring those that you've already committed to, your floor.
Right.
It's not about a program or a title. It's like the people in that influence are, you're saying you're not as valuable as something else.
Right.
And so if you
Jeez.
can do two things and say I'm 100% there when I'm there,
Yeah.
then I think you should do it.
Right.
But if you're saying I know I won't give 100% with what I'm currently doing if I do that, then I think that's a good heart check
Yeah.
moment of like, can I be my best in both those situations?
Keeps you from striving too.
100%.
You know,
100%.
that's good. That's good. So like, so as you walked that road and got through your senior year and things like that, like how did that process? I guess from senior year into kind of the season of life you're in now, right? Like into marriage, and now you like full time or
Working
like a
over
staff
you.
member. At
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leader and
what
everything.
did
Yeah.
that process look like? Yeah.
It was good. I think the Lord was just prepping my heart for a lot of things. I had a great plan, I will say. I had a great plan leaving ORU. I was like, man, I graduated the first week of May, and the third week of May, Allie and I had our wedding scheduled. I got engaged at the beginning of my senior year. So I was like, I know I'm getting married 2 weeks after graduation.
This guy's living the
I know,
dream.
it was like the ORU dream of like, okay,
You
I'm
set
getting my
the
degree.
standard. Yeah.
So by February, I had obviously my graduation date, I had my wedding date, and I had a full-time ministry job lined up at a church, my home church actually in Colorado Springs, and I was starting that June 1. So it was like, okay, I'm going to graduate. 2 weeks later, I'm going to get married. I'm I'm going to have 1 week of a honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start as the associate youth pastor at my church.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it was lined up.
there.
I was like, God, you are so
The
good.
timeline is good.
And it was
Thank
like,
you, Lord.
I know, and it was everything I wanted. I remember thinking
right.
like, this is everything I've wanted, and like God is so good,
Yeah.
He's faithful, and so we do it. I graduate, we get married, great honeymoon, we fly back, we get moved into our new apartment in Colorado Springs, we get it set up, our first apartment together, and we start our jobs. And she's working at the church, I'm working at the church, and I was loving it. I loved being an associate youth pastor. It was great. I didn't have all the responsibility of the main youth pastor,
Right.
but I got to have fun and plan the events
Right.
and retreats, and it was summer, so it was like all the summer fun stuff. And so I'm doing that for all of June, all of July, and then August hits, and I get a call out of the blue from ORU and was like, hey, I think you should come back to ORU and work on staff. And Allie and I honestly just laughed at it, to be honest, because it was like, there's no way. We're living the dream. All of my family's in Colorado Springs. It's my home church. I've got a great career trajectory here. I could be here at the church for 10 plus years, and I'm going to love it. I love it. These kids love me.
Yeah.
I know the families. I'm going to be a conference speaker. Like, I'm all the things I wanted are there.
Right.
There's nothing that is like, I wish I had this.
Yeah.
I had everything. And this is where that radical obedience theme comes in again, where I was talking to ORU about it, and they were like, hey, I really feel like this is of the Lord, and I feel like you should pray about it. And I was like, sure, I'll pray about it. And so, you should always pray about an opportunity. And so I was like, yeah, I'll talk to the Lord about it. So I hung up, and we actually were in Seattle that weekend. So we were in Seattle, we were praying, and I just felt the Lord being like, if you don't go, like, you're going to be disobedient. Like, this is what I'm calling you to do. And it made zero rational sense. Absolutely. I was going to make less money. I was going to I never wanted to work at ORU. I loved ORU, but I never was like, I want to work on staff here. Like,
Right.
never that. I was ready for the church life. Like, I love the church life. I'm leaving all of my family back in Colorado Springs. They're going to hate that. I'm leaving my home church, who set this opportunity up for me. Like, I hate that. So everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. But it was so God. And I was like, why can't I shake this? So I call ORU back. I'm like, hey, I think you might be in this. I think you might be right. I have these 3 hesitations. And I told them my 3 hesitations. Immediately after I say my 3 hesitations, they're like, well, funny you say that. We actually thought about all those things. Here's our answers. Boom, boom, boom. And they hit every hesitation we had and had an answer for it.
Dang.
And I was like, oh, like it didn't like, well, let's talk about it. We'll call you back. It was on that same call. And I was like, God, you are crazy. So I remember Allie and I just sitting in a hotel room and being like, we're moving back to Tulsa. Like 2 months later. Like, this is wild.
back. Wow.
We're going to cancel our lease. We got to tell our family. We got to tell my senior pastor. We got to do all this. And I'm like, oh no, like this is terrible. But we knew his obedience.
Yeah.
We just knew.
That's good.
So we moved back to Tulsa. We started jobs. I became the missions director at that time. And the last 10 years has just been this trying to be faithful and obedient at ORU through different positions, different seasons,
Yeah.
different opportunities, through COVID, through students passing away, through crazy stuff happening in America, like through opportunities to travel and do. I've been over 28 different countries now because of my time at ORU, and like
So cool.
wild
Yeah.
things. Like God's
That's
done wild
insane.
things. Like I've
That's so
spoken on
cool.
stages across the world, and I've met amazing pastors and leaders that I never thought I'd be in the same room with, let alone like have conversations with. Like
Yeah.
I've been so blessed, and it was nothing like I planned.
Sheesh.
And I
Yeah.
think that was just the biggest proof of God is in the obedience. Like
Yeah.
when he tells you to do something, it's because he knows what's going on. I didn't. And
Right.
I didn't want to come back to ORU. I didn't want to work on staff at ORU, not because I was anti. It was just not in my plan.
Yeah.
And I said yes to his plan. And the last 10 years has been such a fruitful time for me, for Allie, just to be here, to see ORU
God.
go from where it was. And when I joined staff in 2016 all the way to now 2025, like, bro, ORU's not the same place. Like, it's grown so much, and God's doing so much, and we've gotten to be a part of it. So radical obedience, man. Like, if you feel like God's telling you to do something that makes no sense to anybody else, but you know it's God, you probably should just say yes.
Right.
and let God show you like how cool he is and how faithful he is.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah.
That is
fire.
sick. I love it. Well, at the end of every episode, we do what we call our one move,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's literally just like a piece of advice for anyone who's listening, like a takeaway. Like if you had to sum all of this down into one
Yeah.
sentence, one little phrase, what would it be? And so So like normally Matthew and I both do one, but what we want to do this week is just have you give your one move
Got it.
for like the entire course of your life. Like
Yeah.
if you had to sum your life up into one move, which is pretty
Crazy.
freaking impossible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would.
I think you're up to the challenge.
I think I might just cop out and say the sentence I said at the beginning, which was, radical obedience leads to radical transformation. And my challenge question would be, are you being radically obedient or are you being casually obedient? And I think the fruit of your life will result in whichever it is.
Yeah.
If you're casually obedient, you'll have casual fruit.
Yeah.
But if you're radically obedient, you will have radical fruit.
Yeah.
And so we're at an amazing university here where we're challenging young people to really say yes to the call of God.
Yeah.
But there are levels to your yes, right? You give
it
a half-hearted
yes just
yes.
when you're comfortable?
Yeah, you can be like,
Yeah.
like occasionally I'll say yes,
Right.
or
That's a word.
I'll pray
Yeah.
when I feel like it, or I'll go serve when it's convenient.
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it like I am showing up every week doing this, every day doing this. I'm consistent in my relationships. I'm consistent in my accountability. That's a radical yes.
Right.
And I understand. And a whole nother conversation could be on legalism versus like your grace-filled Christianity.
Yeah.
I want to lean towards God being like, yo, you're doing too much, then you're doing too little. I want to lean that way, and I would challenge every person watching or listening, be like these guys, step out, be obedient with what God's told you to do, regardless of what it looks like or what people would think or what you think about it, and just say yes and see what God does with a radical yes, not a casual yes, but a radical yes.
That's good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Well,
I think
that concludes it.
that does conclude it.
So,
Yeah. Augustine, thank you again so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
It's, hearing your story is actually so cool. I got
It's
to
an
learn
honor.
a ton about you today.
Yeah.
And it's just freaking sick, man. I aspire to live a life of obedience to the Lord like you have.
So-
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting me be the first guest on
No,
the
seriously.
podcast. This is
My
crazy.
pleasure, man. It's
Yeah.
been a blast. But yeah, so practically, what do we got?
Yeah.
Follow us.
well, first,
Oh, go
Augustine
ahead.
has a
Do your thing.
podcast.
Augustine does have a podcast.
I do. Yeah.
He does. Shout it out.
Want to talk?
I've been lax, but I'm going to be as consistent as these guys. That's the goal. They're inspiring me with their roots. It's called Kingdom Filtered. Kingdom Filtered
Filtered.
podcast. Me and Chandler
Yes.
Petrak.
Let's go.
We have some great conversations on
Amazing.
faith and culture. So
really, really good.
Check it out.
podcast.
Go
You
check
should
that one
it
out too.
yeah.
And for us, follow us on YouTube.
Bang.
Add us on Spotify,
Bang.
Apple,
Bang.
Instagram,
Bang.
TikTok,
Bang.
all of it.
All of
follow
it.
us.
At One Move Podcast.
Please.
It's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
We made
Follow
it so
them on
easy.
all of them.
Every single
Everything.
one.
And it's all
Yeah.
One Move Podcast. Very consistent.
So
Very
great.
consistent.
Yeah.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be back next Thursday with
Yes.
another episode. Can't wait to see you there. But yeah, y'all have a blessed one.
Love y'all. Bye.